If you've never been to a ukulele festival before, then watch to the end of this video to find out about all the different types and all the different formats that these festivals can take on. Ukulele festivals vary drastically from one to the other, but they're always packed full of performances, jams, masterclasses and other social activities. So if you're a little bit unsure about whether it's right for you, then stay tuned, because we're going to cover lots of different ways that ukulele festivals can appeal to you and how you can get involved in more ways than you could possibly think. Now, different festivals can take on different sort of formats and be in different locations and venues. Some will be scattered across a town, such as the Grand Northern Ukulele Festival, which is a really popular festival that happens in Huddersfield. The festival takes place in lots of different venues around the city, with one central hub and lots of sort of smaller venues as well for things like workshops, jams, sort of smaller stages, and then the big headline acts will appear in the main hub venue. Now this is great because if you've got lots of different artists and things you want to see and do, then it's a very customizable experience. If you don't like where you are, just go somewhere else, and often the different styles of performance will be matched to an appropriate venue. So these experiences are much more individual and personal, and you can often sort of go around on yourself or in your group rather than sort of stick to one sort of main itinerary. But if that is something that you want, if you want sort of one main thing that's going on so you can get involved in all the action, then sometimes festivals in one sort of overall venue might be better suited for you. You can get festivals where you're camping out in a field. Shrookfest in Shrewsbury is a great example of this. Or you might like a resort, sort of like the Bracklesham Ukulele Weekends offer, where you're in a hotel and you get bed and breakfast and dinner all included, proper sort of dining meals, and you get entertainment. Usually these will have sort of one, maybe a second stage and a few workshops here and there, so still plenty to do, but a lot of the time there'll be activities throughout the day and you sort of just do all of those in the set order. Now these have a lot more of a sort of community aspect to it, whereas the other format you could sort of go off and do your own thing. With this one, everyone is watching the same things together, doing the same things, and it's a much more sort of shared experience. So if you want that sort of community aspect, then festivals like that are often ones to go for. Different festivals as well will have artists performing for different amounts of time, and they might have different styles of music as well. Some festivals with smaller lineups, but like I said, are sort of just one sort of set itinerary, those performances can last often up to an hour or even more, and you really get a connection between the audience and the artist. Whereas if you're at a festival with lots of different things, those slots will often be shorter. The day will be packed with lots of things, but they'll be much sort of shorter, maybe only 20 minutes or half an hour. So that's great if you want to get a snapshot of all the things here and there, but if you'd rather have one sort of itinerary where you get to know just a smaller number of artists but for longer, then maybe take a look at the schedules and the lineups and take note of how many artists are playing, because usually if there's more artists playing then they'll get less time to perform each. You get all sorts of performances as well, all sorts of varied artists, not just ukuleles as well. You get whole bands with drums and bass and stuff in there as well. You get duos, ukuleles and fiddles, trumpets, saxophones, all sorts of things. It's not just the ukulele, as the name might suggest. So it's a great way to sort of explore how the ukulele can be used in different capacities, which is often great inspiration for people looking to expand their ukulele skill set and maybe take their music in a new direction. Following on from that, of course, there are plenty of educational opportunities. Often the performer is sort of always around, so you can catch them if you sort of saw something really cool that they did and you want to learn how to do it. But often as well there'll be formal master classes and workshops that you can attend. These will be sessions in a room isolated from the main performance area, where the performer teacher will go through a specific topic with just a dedicated group of people who want to learn that thing, and that can be a great way as well to expand your ukulele playing skills and knowledge. But it's not just about the professionals, because there are plenty of spots for festival goers to sort of participate in, whether that's an open mic to a larger crowd, smaller crowd, as intimate as you like. There are all sorts of different performance opportunities, and you don't always have to be performing to the main group. You could just be performing to a little number of people. If you want a chance to perform as well and join in on a bit of the action, then there'll often be somewhere for you to do that at these festivals. There's also lots of jams, whether that's a scheduled group jam where they'll project words and chords on the screen, or there'll be lots of impromptu jams as well. Often around the hotels and things you find all sorts of different groups of people jamming along and strumming away. A lot of festivals will have their own songbook, so people can download and read from the same chords, or print out or even buy the songbooks, and then you'll be able to play all the same songs in all the same keys and jam with complete strangers, but eventually they'll become your best friends. Because there's a huge social aspect to these ukulele festivals. Whether that's at dinner or jamming, watching the concerts together, there's plenty of ways to get to know more people. It's a great place to make friends, and you've all got something in common. You're all ukulele players or ukulele enthusiasts. You don't have to be a player to enjoy. You could bring a partner along or whatever, and just make some real lifetime connections with friends and things that you never thought were possible. You'd meet people you'd never otherwise have met. People come from all over the place, all over the country, to celebrate music and the ukulele, and so you're missing out on a large social aspect of these festivals by not going. So with all of that in mind, I hope that's equipped you with some knowledge and some thoughts that you can then go ahead and maybe consider going to a ukulele festival. You can get all sorts of different ones all across the country, all across the world in fact, and they could just be a dedicated trip, or they could be part of a bigger trip. Never been to the Isle of Wight before? Go to a ukulele festival on there and then spend the rest of the week exploring. Never been to Scotland? There's probably a ukulele festival or two up there as well. So it's a great excuse to see the rest of the world and meet new people. What are your thoughts? Have you got any other further questions for me about ukulele festivals? If so, drop them in the comments, and if you've got any other thoughts then please let me know as well. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to catch the next one. See you later.